Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's video is a bit unusual to this channel because I want to give a credit to one of the great guys who has commented many of my videos basically, and this is Aaron. And I personally got a tons of useful information from this guy, and he has an absolutely amazing blog uh, on Medium, and he writes within this towards datascience.com kind of account, or I don't know how exactly to call this. And here he has absolutely fantastic some Scrapy related articles, and going beyond the Python request package is also really awesome. And it's not really maybe that lots of articles here, but if you dive into them, then you'll definitely find some brilliancy within insight. I personally love his style of how he kind of delivers his thoughts. It's very clear, very kind of straightforward without going around. He just speaks to the point, and he writes to the points, and his writing skills are absolutely fantastic. Once I tried my own skills in writing, and I wrote an article for simpleprogrammer.com, which is the project of American millionaire John Sonmez. I've been following his videos for quite a bit of time before in my life, not following now for some reason. I probably don't have that much time. And I tried this kind of article writings, and it's not really that easy. It's just what I want to tell you, that creating technical articles is an art itself, and Aaron is really cool in this sort of skills. So what are we supposed to be scraping today is actually we'll crawl through all the links to his articles, and then we'll go recursively to every article in particular, and from here we will be scraping the article text itself. So eventually we'll be able to obtain all his work in one file, in one local file, and then we will be able to actually read them and improve our skills, which is absolutely fantastic as well. So before I just probably I forgot to tell you, so I have no idea how you can contact Aaron. So probably somewhere I saw he had some sort of he has a Twitter account at very least. I see. Also, you can find him in under some of my videos. So lots of comments over here. So he shares really fantastic thoughts. If he writes something at least, and just before we start writing some web scraping code here, using Python Scrapy framework, obviously, I just want to say one last thing, that this kind of video regarding selling data versus selling code and how to land freelance jobs in web scraping niche is one of my recent videos, and you guys like it, I see, and I really appreciate it so much. And I got really lots of commentaries below this video, and I basically it seems like I literally answered every single commentary here. Well, I'm always trying to do so, well, at least if a guy is really asking something important. And many of you guys actually asking me for some sort of explanations or tutorials that I'm not kind of proficient in. So let me just provide you a couple of examples. So some of the guys here, okay, here it is. So he asked me to share in my knowledge on deploying Scrapy to AWS instance. Also, Aaron's mentioned, by the way, that somewhere the deployment videos also could be an interesting avenue. But what I'm trying to do on this channel, I'm just trying to show exactly the skills that I'm really proficient in, and exactly the skills I'm getting paid for daily, and not those that I have a vague understanding in. And even though I can deploy to Amazon Web Server, or some things like that, so some additional skills, I'm not using them daily, and it doesn't really kind of fit the format of how I work as a freelancer. So I don't really want to spread some I don't want to mystify you guys with my assumptions or what I think or things like that. Also, you ask me to make some Selenium tutorials from time to time, and also, like, as far as I'm not working with the Selenium, yeah, obviously I can go for kind of searching some information, getting some code snippets, work them through, and then make a video on them and sharing. But like I've seen lots of nice YouTube tutorials regarding Selenium itself, so there are guys that are specializing in that sort of a framework, and I guess it's better to watch those guys who actually does that professionally, rather than me in this particular case. And I believe one of American principles that everybody has to land his own niche, and the more narrow your niche is, the more expert you become in that sort of a niche. So I just want to say sorry to guys like Eric's99 or this guy Ertom. So I'm not. This is not exactly my specific, even though it goes close with the web scraping. But still, I did answer, by the way. I really did kind of provide a big answer regarding what I think regarding the deploying to Amazon Web Service. So it doesn't mean that I just ignore it, yeah. As well as over here, even though I couldn't actually do what a guy wants, but I'm just trying to explain at least why I can't do that, why I don't want to do that. So. Guys, just please forgive me for I'm not that I don't know absolutely everything, and again I just want to emphasize that the knowledge that I share in my videos regards only those topics I'm completely proficient in, and only those things that I'm getting paid for daily. That's very important, because kind of my goal is to narrow the scope as much as possible, and when you have a narrow scope of what you're doing professionally, that's the fastest way to become an expert in this sort of a niche. And my goal is actually to define this niche, to explain what it is. So what kind of web scraping I am doing, if I'm using Scrapy, what kind of tools do I use? So why I say, like, I don't use like item exporters and item loaders, but on Aaron's side you have a very fantastic, absolutely brilliant article regarding demystifying Scrapy item loaders. Hold on a sec, guys. So what I would like to suggest, those of you guys who asking the question that goes beyond the scope of this kind of particular Callback Against channel, I highly recommend you to reference guys like Aaron, and I believe there are lots of others basically who does the same stuff, like web scraping using Python Scrapy, but for different clients, like maybe some bigger companies, because I've been explaining the commentaries so much that actually there is a huge difference if you're working for a small startup or for a private client or for a big company, if you're working alone versus if you're working in a team. So all this is kind of great difference. And what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to gather together all the techniques, all the principles, all the tools, literally everything, just to fit one single principle that I'm following in my life, and this principle is freedom, basically. And some of you might have blamed me that I'm not using best practices from time to time, or maybe that I'm spreading some false techniques or principles or something like that. But it's not about being false or being true. It's all about that the true is what works for you personally, and if something doesn't work for you, doesn't mean that it's false, that it's a bullshit or things like that. Maybe you just don't understand it, or maybe it just simply doesn't fit your lifestyle, your programming path, your career, and things like that. So let me just summarize the very message of this long intro. I'm sorry for this long intro. I will just now jump into the coding. But I just want you guys to get the very message that you can take from me only what I am really expert in. And if I will start kind of spreading my scope wider and wider, then eventually I would end up with a shitty content, because you know, like, why you like what I'm doing, because it's really tight, you know, like I don't go I really go for a narrow scope, and within this narrow scope I know every single little tiny detail, and within every single little tiny detail I'm trying to go even deeper. So I'm not trying to cover like everything that is possible in web scraping in general. I'm just covering what I'm in particular doing, and that's kind of it. And also I'm not showing you like, well, when I just started this channel, I was showing like what I was thinking about, but nobody really cared, because that either didn't bring any income or wasn't really much interesting to anybody. And through the time, I've realized that the most interesting that I can share for you guys is actually what helps me to make more income as a freelancer specializing in web scraping, and some kind of specific stuff regarding the specific client interaction with the client that I'm encountering. So the way how I find the clients, and if you have the specific clients, they have the specific needs, hence you need to use some specific techniques. And say the Scrapy framework is wide enough to actually being able to extract some unique parts from it, so for your own personal use. So you know, like the old Chinese wisdom says that the general is false, while the particular is always the truth. So I'm just trying to get more and more particular, while started very general, like some of my early subscribers mentioned, and I remember those words until now, like start general and then get more and more specific. So I don't remember really who said that, but if you're watching this, man, really thank you for those words. I keep them in mind until now. I probably will keep them even further on. So I hope the message is clear, guys. So let me just shut up now and start writing some code. So the initial page was supposed to be crawling through is this one, towards datascience.com, and the username. And now I just need to give a name to my script. So script to scrape Aaron as articles regarding web scraping. Oh, maybe just articles, and that's kind of literally enough, I guess. So let me just provide a pretty header here, and here I say by Callback Function, which is me, for those of you who don't know that I'm also known as Callback Function. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. So the next thing to consider is we need to import some packages. So I need to import Scrapy itself, and then from Scrapy.crawler import crawler process to being able to run the Scrapy spider from within a Python script, this one that we're writing now. So avoid using Scrapy shell for this purpose. I guess we don't need the selectors, because I'm not gonna be storing the HTML locally, because there is not really that much of data to extract. So I will probably just simply import JSON to print the response. And I'm just wondering, let me see, do we have any string query parameters here? So say over here, yeah, and we don't have, so we don't need the URL lib and specifying the params and things like that. So now I need to define the article scraper class. So class, let's call this article scraper. By the way, guys, you know, like, I'm sorry, just want to distract one I hope one last time. When I just started my web scraping career, it happened exactly 1 year ago, at the time of recording this video at least. You know, like the very first task I was getting regarding the Scrapy framework was actually to scrape news regarding regarding the list of startups I had in the TXT file. And Medium is the site. This is the logo of Medium. Is one of the sites I've been scraping. Also, I scraped Crunchbase and some other media resources regarding the particular startups my client was interested in. So, you know, like scraping articles is a job, and it is paid, and it's quite pretty easy for beginners, and it's a perfect perfect job to kickstart off as a freelancer. So if you're not capable yet of extracting the complicated data like title, description, price, blah blah, all the stuff just like from the real estate properties, well, so these articles are far easier, way more easier to extract basically. So I hope this would be useful for beginners as well. So now let me just go on. So the article scraper would inherit from Scrapy. Oh my god, when I learned to type properly, Scrapy.spider. Now we need to provide our scraper or spider, call it however you want, name, and the name would be equal to let's call this articles, and now let's provide the base URL we're supposed to be start crawling with. So I say base URL would be equal and this kind of thing here. And also I would like to define some custom headers. I'm not sure if they are necessarily needed here, but let's provide at least the user agent to make sure we're not using Scrapy default. We're not using default Scrapy user agent. So let me just inspect the element to invoke the Chrome developer tools, and I just go to the network tab. Okay, let me just try to update this page, and the only thing I need is a user agent here within the request headers. So this is the user agent, so I just grab this and paste to this headers dictionary. Don't forget to specify the Python dictionary format properly. And before I start writing the crawler as entry point, the method start request, let me just provide quickly the main driver. So I can simply say if name equals to main. In this case we need to run our scraper, and I create the process variable that would be equal to the instance of the crawler process, and then I need to say process.crawl and provide the spider we're using as an argument. So in this case this would be the article scraper, and finally say process.start to actually invoke our scraper. Okay, so now we can actually provide what is known as crawler's entry point. So the Scrapy spider we're inheriting from always starts the crawling by calling the def start requests method, which takes only the self instance, and that's kind of it. And here we need to crawl, let's say make initial HTTP request to base URL. So at the very beginning we will be crawling, just making a request to this page, and this is kind of it basically, nothing much. So then we will extract then we would extract the link, and also we'll provide the name for an article. I don't know, maybe maybe the publish date. I guess that's possible as well. Might make some sense for history at least. Okay, so here I need to yield a Scrapy request, and it would take a bunch of parameters. So the very first one is the URL, and in our case this would be simply self.base URL, and this is kind of it. Also we need to provide the headers, so headers would be equal to self.headers, and finally we need to specify the callback function, because Scrapy is using Twisted Internet, which is the library capable of making asynchronous HTTP requests and much more things, definitely, but still this is at least what we are interested in. So let's call this self.parse, and here we actually need to parse, well, let's call this one parse links, and or maybe parse cards, because we're gonna be parsing article cards. So parse article cards, and I call this def parse cards, and this method would take the self instances as usual in Python, and followed by by the response object here. And now we need to loop over all the cards here. So in order to do that, let me just try to inspect the element, just trying to find the parent div, or what is there. Okay, nope, so this is a bit too much, right? So this div, so div class stream item, well, I hope this selector should be just fine, so let me just try to copy this. Here we need to loop over article cards, and we say for card in response.css. I'm using the CSS selectors, and okay, we're looking for div with a class of this stuff, and let me just try to print, let's try to find some element recursively. Let's say, I don't know, maybe title, inspect, A3. Let's consider this class. So I just want to make sure that okay, let's just first gonna make sure that we loop through many cards. Did I just? Oh, I didn't yet open the terminal. So I need to open the terminal in the current working directory, and by simply typing Python 3 Aaron block.py, we're running our scraper, and I hope to see the word card printed numerous times. Okay, yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, it has to be 4 cards. Let's calculate them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, well, not that much, but still we got something here at least. So now let's actually scrape the initial data set. So, well, let's call this extract features. We can say extract article card features, and I create the features dictionary, and let's specify first the title. That would be equal card.css, and we're looking for h3 tag. So note that we're not using response.css, but we're matching this selector within the given card, so to narrow the scope where we're searching for, where we are searching in or within. Okay, and class would be equal to this stuff, and we want to extract the text out of there and just get. And let me also try to print JSON dumps and features and indentation equals to 2 spaces to print the response. So now I hope to see my title kind of works. Okay, how to download. Okay, so demystifying Scrapy items, perfect. How to download files using Python, perfect. But why these two were not actually so this should be a description, I guess. But hold on a sec, I'm just wondering why this guy. Is the selector is different here? Is the selector different? I'm just wondering. Okay, so it seems like we got different selectors. This is interesting. Now I guess it would give that 2 in the middle, but doesn't scrape the 2 before those. Oh my god, I'm also getting some redirects here. Okay, let me just try to use the link I'm getting redirected to, and let me just use it here. Or hold on a sec, maybe just okay. Just wondering. Well, yeah, these medium blocks, they often redirect, so even though it doesn't really matter that much in this tutorial, just wanna okay, let's try this one. I just want to try to avoid all those redirections, even though it doesn't really matter in this particular case, but let me just try to okay. My god, I'm still getting redirected. What's going wrong here? Okay, maybe let's try the very last one. Okay, if it doesn't work, I have no idea what to do. Well, probably just leave the initial link. Okay, it just redirects you whatever happens. So just forget that basically, and I will leave the initial your base URL as far as actually just goes kind of pretty right. Okay, so we need to say like fix missing, or hold on a sec, maybe there is some sort of a parent element that actually figure name preview image. Nope. Intersection layout. Maybe just trying to scrape some I'm not sure if they're different or not. Okay, so let's try like to say so fix missing titles. I didn't know it would go this way, obviously, so I would say if features title is equal to nothing here, well, I guess this should work, then try like features structures title to be equal to cards CSS h3 and class, and this is slightly different one, so this is graph h3 after. So no, it's not different. Okay. And what about this one? This is the first time when I see that exactly the same title has different classes, basically. But hold on a sec, maybe just hold on a sec. If this is the only h3, can I just get rid of this class specification at all? Maybe just literally enough to okay, this is much better. Yeah. Sometimes you need to go the easier way and shouldn't consider the hard path, really. So we don't need this anymore. And now let's consider, so publish date, right? Inspect time, and we got this date time. So yeah, let's consider the time. So let's call this published date and card.css, and using the time tag, and we want to get the attribute of date time. Okay, date time. Okay, and just simply to get one. Okay, and save. Okay, so and probably the very last thing, so we don't need likes, I guess, even though it's quite pretty important, but still. So let's try to find a link. So is this the link actually? Yeah, it seems like. Okay, and so link darken is touched. Copy. So let's consider article link and card CSS and a tag with the class of article link, and we need the attribute of href and try to get one. And now let's actually run the scraper to see if we got the data we expected to get here. Okay, at least we got the published date, which is nice. I can't see the article link for some reason. Okay, let me just quickly check the source code. And let's see if it is available. Oh, it's not available within the source code, so okay, let's try to find the link this way. So link. Huh. This is available. Then what's wrong here? Link darken, copy, a. oh, I guess is touched is not really needed there, so let's try this like selector here. Okay, now we got our links, and yeah, we can now crawl through those links. Okay, perfect. So, and what I want to do now is actually there are different ways of how one can actually pass the data, forward the data between the levels, and I would be using the media container. So I could have used these selectors within the media container itself, but I just decided to wrap them within the features to later on use the features dictionary to actually collect all the data within one single data set, basically. So now we need to crawl article content, crawl article URL, and here we can simply say like we need to yield and response dot follow, and the URL would be equal to features and article URL, article links, sorry, and then the headers would be the same, so self.headers, and finally we need to provide the callback function here that would be called self.parse article. Okay, so also I would like for now just to break after I just want to break after the very first article being crawled. Okay, sorry guys, I forgot the main stuff here. So I need to provide the media container here. So here we'll say like, let's call this article would be equal to features. Save. Okay, so now we can define the method to parse article content. So I call this parse article. So def parse article, and this would take the self instance followed by the response object, just like this parse cards method here. So literally the same, and here we need actually to extract article content. So and before we doing this, so first we need to actually extract article data or article features. So we can create the article variable that would be equal meta.get sorry, not like this, response.meta.get and article. And here in order to extract the article content, we'll simply say like article. So we're appending, oh, we can actually not be doing this over there, we can do this even over in here, I guess. So article content will be empty for a while, at least at this stage. So article content, okay, and article keyed by article content would be equal, and now we will provide the selector. So just right in the moment, and I just want to print article, not like this, JSON dumps and article indentation equals to 2 spaces, and if it just what we expect, I'll just write this data to the file next, and that's kind of it. So now let's move to the particular article here. So let's take this one. I personally read this and was absolutely amazed by its content. So I've never yet seen a better explanation of what the Scrapy item loaders are and why are they used for. And also I forgot to credit Dr. Pi, who was the initiator of me for me to start looking for Aaron's blog, basically. So first it appeared in Dr. Pi's video regarding item loaders. He did a couple of few. I will put the links in the description below this video to credit Dr. Pi as well. So he was the first who introduced me to Aaron's blog, basically, even though Aaron did come in my videos before that. Okay, so now what we need here, we actually need to extract all of this text, so I can see. So here is the article tag here with the class metered content. So just grab this one, and what we need to do here, we need just simply to say response.css. We're looking for the article tag, and the class equals to metered content, and also I need to say space star, which means to extract the textual elements recursively from all the child elements of this tag. That's exactly the behavior we actually need, and we need to get all, basically. So well, but let me just try to make this slightly a bit more prettier. So just copy this and paste dot get all, and also we need to say to join this elements by the new line character. So get all would return the Python list data type by default, not by default, always it would return the Python list type, and here we're converting the Python list to string to make the article content the type of string, so just the bare textual data. And also this helps to increase the readability of the article content itself. So if I did everything right, I am supposed to see, okay, article features, oh, sorry, the wrong syntax for specifying the dictionary. Shame on me, guys, sorry for that. So what? Unexpected. Indentation like this. Okay. Okay, so here we got the article itself. Perfect. And yeah, I really like this. And we have the title, published date, article link, so where we crawl this from, and the article content. And as far as this works perfectly well, I just want now to write output to file, and I just can simply say like with open. I could have used the fit format and fit URI in the standard Scrapy custom settings, but if you're crawling too many things recursively, sometimes it doesn't work. I could have tried, but just don't want to waste your time, guys, so I will just do this by hand to make sure it works properly. So let's call this Aaron blog dot. I will use the JSON-L format, which is the JSON object separated by the new lines, and I want to append to the file stream as f, and I simply say f.write, and here actually article, right, and followed by the new line like this. And this should create a new JSON file in the current working directory. So let me see if it works actually. Very strange. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry guys, shame on me. Obviously I needed to convert this to the string, so I say JSON dumps and article and indentation equals to spaces. So when I'm saying this JSON dumps and then specifying the second argument of indentation equals to 2 spaces, we're literally just converting the Python dictionary to the bare string format that looks like a JSON basically, and it is JSON basically. So just to bear in mind what this JSON dumps is standing for, is coming for. Okay. Okay, but now I don't really like that. For some reason, it prints the new lines this like way. Well, okay, probably. I just want to prettify the output. So let me think how I can achieve that. So maybe I should have just avoid converting this to string. Maybe I just keep the list structure, so well, at least it would be slightly more readable, I hope. Let me see. Okay, yeah, but now he just goes here like kind of line by line. So definitive guide, demystifying Scrapy item loaders, automate Scrapy data cleaning. Okay. It actually now goes from the new line h1 in particular. So, well, I guess this is far more readable format for this. Well, but obviously, as has been shown previously, you could have just make a string out of this. I'm just not sure. So if I would you know what, guys, I just thought that probably there is a better way of doing this. So let me better actually, what if I just try to store every article in a separate text file instead? Yeah, I think this would be even better. So I don't really need this JSON line data. Let's try to formulate the content of the article itself. So just let me think how what's the proper way of doing this. So if I say f dot write and I can say, so I can use the article, and so hold on a sec. Article title, right? Article title. Then let's go for a new line. Okay. And I'm just wondering, can I do this in a multi-line format? Not sure. Okay, then we need article publish date, right? And then we need what have I done? Then we need okay, I'm just really wondering, I don't like this. I guess this doesn't work, right? I just want to see if this syntax works actually. Sorry guys, just hold on a sec. Just want to see if the syntax works. Oh, it works, really. Okay. Perfect. So in this case, let me just get rid of this guy. So in this case, let's have a couple of new lines here. Plus and article URL, article link, paste, and another couple of new lines, and eventually, finally, article content. So let me just try to write this. Save. So we just break here, and as the file name I would like to use this article, let's say title. Okay. Okay, demystifying Scrapy item loaders, but yeah, I probably got some errors over here. Article content must be string, not list. Okay, yeah, sorry for this. So let's get back to our initial implementation. So I just want to join these guys with the new lines, like this. Okay, now this should work. Okay, so the title, demystifying Scrapy item loaders, the publish date, the URL available over here, and yeah, probably here I would like to have more than 2, so let's have a couple more spaces. Okay, and the article itself now looks like as it was a real article, basically in textual format still, but well, somewhere it's not really, that doesn't really have the best ever layout, but still it's pretty readable, I guess. So at least it can be read. It can be read if you want that. So perfect. And yeah, so let me just delete this. Oh, I don't need this anymore. Okay. And also just want to get rid of this break statement, and now I'm supposed to scrape all the articles available here from Aaron. Okay, hold my breath and run this one more time, and now there should be appearing a file per article. So let's see, demystifying Scrapy item loaders. So we have title, time, publish date, a link to that, and the article content itself. Perfect. Now we have go beyond basics. I'm not sure why, so probably something is wrong with the selectors here, so I just need to check this out as well. Okay, this article seems to be, oh, even the Python snippets works perfectly well. This is nice. And this one, yeah, also pretty nice. Okay, so the only issue we're facing here is actually this one, go beyond the basics of the request package. So let's have a look what's gonna run over there. Let's have a look. So probably the selectors we've considered not really working perfectly there. Let me just try to see why. And oh no, this is how to successfully log in. It's not that. So which one was wrong? So go beyond the basics of Python request. Okay, go beyond the basics. Let's open this. in the current window. So I'm just wondering. Well, so article, material content the same. So I'm not sure why this is not getting scraped basically. This is a bit strange, to be honest. Okay, but so let me have a look at the source code. Okay, here is our article. Here is our article here. Well, we can't see this article. I'm not sure why. Okay. So. So we have the only article here. All commands, all recommendations, welcome. This is strange, really. Maybe it just goes too fast. So, okay, guys, let me just try one more little trick that works sometimes. So I just want to provide the custom settings here and say custom settings equals the type of Python dictionary, and I specify the concurrent requests per domain. That would be equal, let's have 1, and download delay equals 1. As far as there is not really that much of data to crawl, this might have helped significantly. So even though it would go as slow as hell, okay, just what I said basically. So because the requests were kind of too fast, it didn't yet it wasn't in time in regards to initialize all the data for the response appropriately. So yeah, that was the problem, and now we got literally all, at least I hope so, like all the content from the articles. Okay, guys, so I guess this is it for this tutorial. Well, you know, like I must admit that the output format for in this particular web scraping tutorial is not really that casual, because probably you would like to store things like to CSV or JSON, but these articles, basically I've shown how to store this to CSV, to JSON, and wherever you can store to JSON you can store to CSV as well. But I just thought that using this sort of a format is kind of better, and me personally, I really like to read the bare textual data instead of some sort of a formatted text. So that's, I don't know, like, I really like it more. So I guess this is it for this tutorial, and again, like, thanks Aaron for providing this brilliant articles regarding Python Scrapy framework, and some requests and the request library, and all these 4 articles basically. So I wish you all the best, guys. I wish you to you know, like, gather information from the appropriate sources, which means that you can take something from me, and you can take something else from Dr. Pi. You can take some third-party stuff from Aaron, or on the contrary. You know, like, So every single person has its own life experience. He has his own approach, career experience, some specific narrowed scope of what is he doing in particular, and things like that. And I believe that specifying the particular guy you're asking for does really matters, because there is something better to be asked from me, something better to be asked from Aaron, something better to be asked from Dr. Pi. So I hope you got the message behind these words, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Until next time, and take care.